What's up? What's up? Look at this panel ready to talk some everything sports. Open Sports Mike, here we
Thanks,
go.
Rich. I got it. It looks awesome.
Facebook page up and running. Jamie got it. All right.
Woo!
All right.
It's what AI was meant to be.
How's everyone doing tonight, guys? Dylan, how are you?
Who brought this heat down to Southwest Florida? Because right now we feel hot. We feel hotter than the NFL schedule release tomorrow.
You just realized that in Florida in May it's that hot out, and you've been living there for 32 years.
Jamie, let me tell you this. Even after all these years, when the temperature goes from hot to stupid hot to my feet are gonna melt hot, it never gets old.
I got a question
Hey,
for
guys.
Joey out there in the audience. Are you scared of the Cowgirls opening Thursday night football?
No, 'cause it didn't feel like
I was talking to Joey. I was talking to our Eagles fan in the audience, Jeremy.
Oh,
Guys, you want to talk about the weird heat? We were 85 on Sunday, 93 today. And this is in Waco, Texas. It'll be 103 tomorrow, 100 on Thursday, and above 90 for the next several days. That doesn't happen this early, as crazy as that sounds, in Texas. Usually it's after Memorial Day when this kind of crap starts happening. So
That's what
we
happens.
were in the
when you try to
70s.
mess with Texas early.
Well, but we were in the 70s last week. So this is early for us to start getting this garbage. I don't know.
Ted Cruz
know.
probably made a cow fart, and that's why it's hot there.
You know, it's
Look at
gonna
this,
be
Ted
time to
Cruz
get this
farted and
canned up.
it's not hot.
So some of the schedule has been released. The Vikings are going to
Yes.
live overseas. The Vikings are going to live overseas. It seems like they're just going to vacation over there for a couple weeks.
Yep.
Vacation, all I ever wanted by the Go-Go's.
I do have pulled up what's been linked, Adam, if you need that.
Steelers going to be playing the Vikes in Ireland.
Dublin,
This is the first official game over there. But in 1997, the Steelers also played over in Ireland as an exhibition game, just to let everyone know.
a
Right.
preseason game, if my memory serves me right.
so since I don't have access to your channel yet,
I know that.
I just put my link in there for people. Hello, Christina.
As usual, though, the Europe games are not exactly the most gotta watch kind of games. I do love that the Chargers, though, are playing the most dangerous team in the history of professional sports. To be determined.
That would be the Chiefs in Sao Paulo.
They haven't announced who they're playing. So
It is
um,
LA and the Chiefs. They said it was.
Mhm.
Hello,
well,
Christine.
I don't know. NFL.com
Whatever.
hadn't popped it up yet, so that's all I'm looking at. But
I mean, the
Hang
Chargers.
on.
I mean, the Rams really got to be scared playing over in London. They're playing that god awful team.
yeah, but it's a home game for the Jags.
Oh,
Yeah, but remember they do well in London. Remember Jacksonville always does well in London, and Joe can testify on that too. Joe
That's
Dalio.
because the biggest hotel chain is Hilton, which Shirkan owns.
Wait a minute.
My question. Here's my question, guys, real quick. All these games overseas. What do we have? 7 this year.
16
Do you
this year, actually.
Do you like losing the home game
No,
as a fan?
no.
As a fan,
Evens it
no,
out.
but it's the NFL. It's
All right, one at a fucking time. I
You're
think Jeremy.
asking- okay.
Hold on. Jeremy timed in first. I heard him. We need bells. We need like fucking Family Feud bells.
Yeah, that would work. Or
You're
something that
asking
makes,
for-
or like Hollywood Squares, I press a button and it lights up. Everybody shut the fuck up till I turn the light off. But anyway,
Oh, you
I'm
like
joking, Jamie. I'm joking. No, I hate losing a home game as a fan because that's what if you buy season tickets and they're forcing you to have overseas games as a home game, you're losing money on your ticket because the season ticket doesn't go down because they don't have a home game.
But it doesn't go down if you have 8 instead of 9.
I understand that's different. That's in the contract. We understand 1 year it's 8, 1 year it's 9. But if you only got 8 games, let's say they give you a home game overseas, now you got 7.
No. The NFL only takes a home game from teams that have 9. Look at it. The NFL only takes a game from teams that have 9 and makes it 8.
Yeah,
They don't take 8 and make it 7.
Okay. But I still hate it because you're losing a game because that's the benefit of the 9th game. You're supposed to get an extra ticket.
Sure.
So your cost is the exact same for a 9-game home season as it is for an 8-game home season. And you only get 8 games, but at the same time, there's 9 home games. You're getting cheated out of a game.
I do have a question for you guys that are season ticket holders, real quick, Adam, that goes along with what he's saying. You season ticket holders, do you go to the exhibition games?
I had season tickets in 2005, the year they went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
I did go to the exhibition game. I went to both of them, and I think I left at halftime.
Gotcha.
I already had the ticket, so I knew people going. So I was like, "Let's go."
Marcus must be deep in thought.
I know. Oh, I'm sorry. I know the
Probably watching
concessions
NXT.
at a preseason game aren't any cheaper. I know that. They're just as expensive. Whatever
Yes, they
else
are.
is there. Me and my wife went to it wasn't even a preseason game. It was a scrimmage years ago. And she gives them $5 for water, a bottle of water. They gave her $1 back. That water was $4. And that was years ago. So
Right.
It's so expensive
Yeah.
for the concession. I mean, so they charge the same for the concessions that situation.
They do.
Jason,
Good
Jerry
evening,
World
Jason.
does that too.
yeah,
Burger,
all of it
fries,
does.
and a Coke, $24.
It's crazy. Good evening,
And
Jason.
it was
How
one
are
of
you?
them frozen burgers. What's up, Jason?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, by the way, Jason, you and Charles might become fast friends because it looks like Ravens Packers will be the opening Monday night game.
Yeah, about that.
I didn't
don't know
hear
if that-
that.
I don't know if
that's
they're going to be
fake
friends.
news.
I mean, I like Charles anyway, so I don't know what you're suggesting there, Dan. But
Is the game in Green Bay? I'm assuming it's Green Bay. Ravens always have road games.
Lambeau.
yeah, it's at
I'm
Lambeau.
assuming.
It's at Lambeau. Yeah.
How do we know that already?
Week 1 schedule is all over the interwebs.
It's because they changed it this year where they're having more leaks than in the past.
Yeah, like
They're purposely leaking some stuff for whatever
Yeah,
reason
I'm
and
But
doing
they're
the whole
leaking
thing
it
wrong.
more than they did last year and previous year.
yeah,
No,
like
it was the same time
Now-
last year when they released the whole.
Hold
week
on,
one.
hold on. Do you guys remember last year? There was a couple leakers on Twitter that leaked all kind of shit, and it looked like an NFL.
It was
official
all
site,
wrong.
and it was all wrong.
Yep.
And then
That's
once
true.
once they were released, everyone was like, "Ha ha!" Everyone
only
did that Nelson laugh from, the Nelson laugh from The Simpsons.
Now, if it's
You mean?
I- Yeah.
There we go.
yeah,
We
but
have not heard anything from Marcus yet, and I'm just curious about.
I think he's watching
How-
NXT.
He
I'm just
probably is
being a
watching
good
that
boy.
next day.
I'm just being a good boy. I don't want to get fussed at. Waiting on my food to be ready, but I heard a sneak that Saints are opening up with the Titans. This will be the second time in 2 seasons or 3 seasons they open up with Tennessee, and third time in the history of their series they open up with Tennessee. And it's in Nashville.
Tyler Show versus Cam Ward week 1. That would be cool.
Well, we don't know who's going to be a QB1 yet. It might be a competition with Shuck and Spencer Rattler. And hell, they just picked up a quarterback from Iowa State today. I forgot who his name is, but they
Brock
just
Purdy.
picked him up.
Oh no, that's not him.
Hold on, I'm going to pull it up. Because everybody's
Either way,
like, we have the worst quarterback room in the history, they kept saying. Oh, Hunter Deckers from Iowa State. That's who they picked up today, Hunter Deckers.
You might as well go with the quarterback you got, Marcus. You weren't gonna do much with Derek Carr anyway, so just go 5-12 in your first year with these young guys. And
I had a quick question, real quick, Marcus. All that Shedeur talk. What do you think? Was there any talk of trading to Cleveland to try and get Gabriel or Shedeur? No. Okay.
They didn't want him.
What about Aaron Rodgers?
Hey, hell to the no. No.
Have you guys heard this latest stuff about Shedeur, that he's now not scoring points with the Cleveland Browns because he's got this camera crew following him everywhere he goes now, and they're doing some sort of documentary on him, and the Browns are getting pissed off about it because he's got this camera crew following him everywhere, and it's interfering with practice and causing distractions and all that.
That's why they did not want him. They didn't want that damn circus he was bringing, and even when his daddy get involved trying to take over the team.
So that's why
he didn't want him too.
It's exactly why he didn't get drafted until the 5th round, because the morning of the draft, he finally, after the 4th round, fired his dad as the agent. Because if he was the agent, it would be a media circus show on the sideline.
All I can tell you is this: his brother has flown completely under the radar in Tampa and has actually impressed coaches. And there's a lot of people saying that if he continues to progress like he is, he could make that team.
Good. I hope he does.
I do too. I hope he does. I hope he has a better career than his brother.
He might on accident, because quarterbacks fail more than almost every other position out there.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, Jared Goff with Jeff Fisher as his head coach looked like an absolute bum.
Yeah, you said the exact words. Why, too? Jeff Fisher. Right. Jeff Fisher, when he came to the Panthers that first year, we were awful. He's horrible with quarterbacks.
Wait a minute,
Steve McNair was good.
Jeff Fisher
was good because he was so talented. Jeff Fisher couldn't ruin him.
Yeah.
Wait, Don Capers was the Panther head coach in '95.
Dom Capers and Tom Coughlin, they were the originals to start the franchise. I remember that when they came in. I was mad about that. I was hoping Baltimore would get an expansion team. About that whole Baltimoreans hate that whole expansion process. That was a bunch of garbage because they were always giving the team to Carolina.
Hey, you got the Browns you got the Browns and Ray Lewis in '96.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out obviously, but because Art Modell was so broke, he had no choice but to take. He saw that offer that was on the table for the expansion, and he took that money, or else they'd have never still had a team. That was wild.
It was smart.
Yeah, Jeff Fisher never coached in Carolina, by the way.
Yeah, coached in Houston/Tennessee.
And he coached for Germany's Michigan Panthers.
He did. He coached for the Rams too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He was the yard short. No, he was.
No, that was Dick Vermeil.
Yeah, that was Vermeil. He was the coach of the Rams from 12 to 16.
Yeah.
4 years of utter disgustingness for the Rams. He was awesome.
So, I mean, we're all baseball fans, so obviously we all heard the news that the MLB makes it where Pete Rose and Shoeless Jackson all
they can be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
And I'm like, of course this happened after Pete Rose passed away.
It's because Trump met with Manfred and made it all possible. That's why.
I called it last year as soon as Pete Rose died. I said, you watch. Within a year, he'll be eligible to be in the Hall of Fame. And I said, and it's purely off of his player stuff. He will never get in as a manager, because as a manager is where he gambled.
You can't separate the two. There is nobody in Major League Baseball history that has gone in as a coach and a manager separately. None. I don't care who it was.
I knew he was going to say this. I knew he was going to.
You know what's coming, Brad.
I know you are.
Brad, you know I'm going to let everybody else do their thing, Rav, and then I'm going to let mine loose. Go ahead, you guys. Go for it.
But at the same time, Shoeless Joe Jackson as a player was never proven to take money in the Black Sox scandal. And he's been blackballed the entire time. So
well, that's true.
So that way, if they did it for Rose as a player, and I know they already said it as a player, they've said this. So I think you're wrong. I think they are going to separate it on this one case.
I don't know if Rich and I talked about this on camera, off camera during our interview. We had a long conversation about just this thing. I know Rich does not want Pete Rose to get in to the Hall of Fame, but I'm going to say what I said to him. He's dead now. Okay? I don't know how much more you want him to suffer. I don't know how much more you want his family to suffer. I don't know how much more a lifetime ban ends with death. He died.
Yep.
He should be able to be on the ballot and get in and vote. Now, whether you don't want to vote him in, that's a whole nother thing. But he's obviously the greatest hitter in terms of hits made in the history of baseball.
Yes, and there's a lot of fans who agree with this decision that want to see him in there.
One sentence. It's not a lifetime ban. It's a permanent ban.
No, it
big difference.
They listed it as a lifetime ban. I swear to God.
No, sir. I will read you Rule 21 right here. Any player, umpire, or club or league official or employee who shall bet any sum whatsoever upon any baseball game in connection with which the bettor has a duty to perform shall be declared permanently ineligible. Last I looked, permanently does not stop when you die.
But Rich, what are you accomplishing at this point by keeping him out? Him and Shoeless. I mean, they're obviously doing this to put him in, I think. I don't know if they are.
Two completely different things.
But I don't.
It's two completely different things, first
But
off.
he's already. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hold on.
But it's two completely different things.
Why does Shoeless Joe deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? He played from 1908 to 1920. He barely didn't even have 2,000 hits. He had 1,700 hits. I'm not sure why Shoeless Joe deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
I'm not either. But as far as eligible, there's a big difference. Like Jeremy said, he was never found guilty of doing what he did. It was never found in a court of law that he took money as part of that scandal. So that's a whole different kettle of fish. Not to mention the fact Bud Selig gave Pete Rose the opportunity to get his ban lifted. All he had to do was admit that he bet on baseball, to stop gambling in all shapes and forms, and he would get his eligibility back and get back into baseball. And he wouldn't do it. Would not admit that he bet on baseball, even though there was stacks of evidence as tall as me, and he would not stop gambling so that he could get his, quote, life back. So if he was given the opportunity and he still didn't do it, as far as I'm concerned, all of us could be dead and gone, and he should not be eligible for the Hall of Fame.
Okay, so you're right about all that, about the gambling and all that. Let's go with what Jeremy said. If you're just saying he's a hitter, a first baseman, a player, is there any question? I think that's what you got to consider here. There's no question about it as a player. This is like keeping Michael Jordan out of the Basketball Hall of Fame. We're keeping out a Magic Johnson and keeping out somebody who no question about it is in. That's what you're saying. After he's dead.
You're saying the exact same thing. I'm consistent on this, though, because I said the same thing about Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds should not be in the Hall of Fame either. Even though in his career with the Pittsburgh Pirates, he put a Hall of Fame career together. But he pissed that all away when he started making his head as big as a cannonball and
Actually,
taking all those steroids. If he wouldn't have done that, he had a Hall of Fame career with the Pirates, 3 MVPs, all that kind of stuff.
He never pissed.
He ruined it. You know what I mean? He ruined it by doing what he did after the fact. Pete Rose, as a player, is arguably one of the 10 best players of all time. Not arguing that point. But when he went into Major League managing and bet on his team and was betting on certain pitchers so that it was tipping off people that knew what pitchers to bet on and which ones not to, yes, gone. See ya. No mas.
Well, at the same time,
That kills your eligibility.
at the same time, there was
Hold
a
on.
rule like that in the NFL. Alex Karras, remember him? Him and the guy from the Green Bay Packers had their own gambling ring in the NFL out of a bar in Detroit. And what happened?
Yep.
They both got blackballed for a year from the sport, got to come back and play. And what did they do as soon as Alex Karras died? Put him in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, but the rule at the time was a 1-year suspension. It wasn't a permanent banishment from the sport. It's just like these Cowboy fans that I talk to that give me all kinds of shit about Dez still caught the ball. At that point in time, the rule in the NFL said he did not make that catch. Now, as time has gone on, yes, if it was then, he would have made a catch. But at that exact point in time in that game against the Green Bay Packers, that was not a catch. So you can't go off of that. It's that whole thing. It was a year banishment in the NFL for doing that. And then once you come back, great. He may as well have taken pot, 3 times, gotten hammered for it, and suspended for a year.
But at the same time, they told him the same thing. You will never get in the Hall of Fame. And as soon as he died, he got in.
But it's beside the point. He was never permanently banned.
Never mind.
I want to hear Jay's insights.
My
It's been awfully
insights.
quiet. It's been awfully quiet, Jay. You feel like
Because I've been listening to everybody else's takes, and everyone has valid points, and everyone's bringing up some valid arguments about Pete Rose. I think when it comes to Pete, my whole take on it is,
excuse me.
I'm deep down. I'm a baseball fan. I love the game. I love the history of the game, both the good and the bad. I read constantly great things about the history of the game. Pete Rose, the thing that makes one of the reasons why this is such a divisive topic for all of us is because Pete Rose represents both the good and the bad. What he did on the field represents the good. What he did off the field represents the bad. If Pete Rose had just been a manager and just gambled, yeah, it would still be divisive, but not as divisive as it is now because of how great of a player he was. And with what I'm trying to say is, with that being said, I tend to lean on Rich's side here. Being the baseball purist, I tend to say keep him out. The reason why is this, because what Pete did as a player manager with the Cincinnati Reds not only violated the rules, it undermined the trust that the Cincinnati Reds organization placed in him, that the players placed in him. And look, we all know that when Mark Schott was owner and hired him, we all know Mark Schott was one of the worst owners and one of the worst human beings that ever walked the face of the earth. So don't you dare come at me with this, Mark Schott was a racist bigot. Yeah, we already know she was, okay? But when Pete Rose,
the first row.
Exactly. And when she called Eric Davis her $1 million, you know what. But the point, that's beside the point. What I'm trying to get at is what Pete did is different than snorting cocaine and different than injecting yourself with steroids. He undermined the credibility of the Cincinnati Reds, the players who engendered their trust into him, and the rule. 1 second, please, Rich. And the
go ahead.
And the rules and regulations of Major League Baseball. In here, in my heart, as a player, I want to see Pete in Cooperstown because he belongs there, okay? But being a baseball purist, I can't say he deserves to be there because of what he did. And I think if Pete had come out after this had happened and fessed up initially, I don't think the backlash would be as severe as what it is now. Also, let's keep in mind one other thing here, guys. You brought up Barry Bonds. Now that if Pete does get in posthumously here, this opens the door for more Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, and Alex Rodriguez arguments as to whether or not they should get in. And even though what they did is different, they're labeled cheaters, just like Pete Rose was labeled a cheater. Rich, I'm done. Go for it, my man.
No, I just got this one thing right here because I'm not quite sure. Whoever Back It Up Binge podcast is, we appreciate you listening and appreciate you putting this on here, but that's incorrect. He bet as a player manager.
He was
player manager when he was gambling. He gambled as in both roles. So your statement is incorrect. I understand where you're coming from, but the statement is incorrect. He was a player manager in 1986 when he was betting on those games.
Yeah, he was. A lot of people don't remember that he was a player manager. He didn't become a full-time manager, Rich, I think, until what, the 1987 season?
Yeah, and it was partway through the season.
Yeah, that's right. So, and this is, I think another thing with Pete too is I had a chance to watch that documentary about him on Max, and I actually came away understanding the situation from Pete's point of view, because even though I never saw him play, from what I understand, watching the documentary, Pete was very, very guarded and very, he was very much a private person when he was a player, as much as he was after his playing days were done. But he was also a very proud person, which explains why he did not want to initially admit that he had bet on games. But in some ways, though, I also think that watching that documentary, I came away saying to myself, if this guy knew he didn't have a Hall of Fame bust or a Hall of Fame career in the wings, would he initially have even come out and admitted anything at all? So in other words, if this guy was a Lenny Harris instead of Pete Rose, would he have even come out and admitted all of this at all? So what I'm trying to say is I think Pete cashed in on a lot of the changing attitudes towards him in his career, because within the last 10 to 15 years, that pendulum has swung in favor of Pete, whereas before it was pretty much a foregone conclusion, unified verdict. Hey, no, Pete, you're never getting in. The diehard sports writers agreed, and even the younger guys agreed who came up in the industry, said, no, Pete shouldn't get in. But those attitudes have changed because of the way Pete has changed. So that's something else that we have to consider too.
Very good. Pete was very good announcer too, all those years on Fox. And
he
was very, very good announcer. And he was to watch him play, and I was pretty young, but I remember some of him. And it was like watching Bryce Harper, who hit singles all the time. That's why they called him Charlie Hustle. He was always running somebody down or running into a base runner or doing fun stuff, fun to watch. I'm sorry, Dylan.
Mm-hmm. By the way, one other thing, what's also changed since Pete Rose played? Basically, like most, if not every baseball game's got some kind of betting, whether it be DFS, sports betting, or both. Like teams are sponsored by DraftKings, FanDuel, and the Hard Rock.
Yahoo has the betting every day too.
And that's great. As long as the players and coaches don't do it and the umpires don't do it, I don't care. Umpires, coaches, or players start affecting the integrity of the game, then I've got an issue. It's just like the ref in the NBA that was betting on basketball games.
Tim Donahue.
Get him on the first thing smoking out of here.
But I think you almost missed his point, the hypocrisy of that. Hey, we can't bet on games. We can't do this, blah, blah, blah. And now watch our commercials with FanDuel and DraftKings.
Okay.
There is some you're right, but there's some hypocrisy.
I've got some breaking news that just came out. Baltimore Ravens safety Darius Washington suffers the torn Achilles today.
Who?
Wait, who?
Their rookie safety, right? Isn't that who that is, Rory?
Darius Washington was their starting safety last year when he replaced Marcus Williams. So he actually tore his Achilles. He will not play at all in 2025.
Good thing you drafted a pretty damn good free safety.
Well,
so it was good break that they drafted Malachi Starks.
Well, that's the second one I heard.
Now.
That's the second one I heard this week, besides Jason Tatum, which I tried to tell people that they wasn't repeating because everybody I'm changing it to basketball. I'm sorry. I know we don't talk basketball much on this show.
Maybe you can give us a score on the Cavs game while you're doing this.
Everybody wants Tyrese versus Jalen because they had a moment in a WWE ring last summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Courtesy of LA Knight and Logan Paul.
Yeah.
And the Pacers looks like they're about to. You want to score 115, 105. Looks like the Pacers are going to eliminate the Cavs here.
105 with 23 seconds.
Unbelievable.
Well, I'm calling it. We're in a new era. I mean, 10 years ago, this was what? LeBron's and Steph Curry and all them's era. We're now entering to the era of Ant-Man, SGA, Tyrese, Jalen Brunson. You could throw Victor in there. He'll be a champion one day in the future. You could throw Luka in there. Like all these guys, hell, even Dallas's first pick, Cooper Flag, coming up in a couple of weeks. We're in that era now. These guys' times now. I'm calling it Western Conference Finals, SGA versus Ant-Man. Eastern Conference Finals, Jalen versus Tyrese.
And you know what? When the NBA Finals consists of Oklahoma City and Indiana, guess how many people are going to watch it? Nobody.
I am.
Lots of people will watch it.
I got one.
Marcus,
more
what are you drinking?
Dr. Pepper.
Old school bottle, baby.
I was just curious. I saw you opening. I was like, what is that?
I got a question for you, though. Have you guys seen this month's edition of Esquire magazine on the magazine racks at all while you were passing through and seen who's on the cover?
I got one of them professional bartender bottle openers where I can just go,
Esquire?
Yeah, Esquire magazine, which is
that the one with Marilyn? Is that the one with Marilyn Monroe was pregnant with JFK's kid?
No, this is not for this month. That's a little late age there. But anyways, it's actually Caleb Williams, and they did the label instead of in white like they did. They made it match his shirt in pink. And he even looks like he's wearing lipstick. LGBTQB1. That's my nickname from the draft for him.
So, guys, I have a quick question. This happened.
You like that one, don't you, Rich?
You guys know what I think of Caleb Williams. What?
Would you trade for a 110, a 308, a 401 for Breece Hall and a 708?
Give me that again.
So we got round 1, pick 10.
Yeah, I knew where you were going with the numbers.
308 and 401 for Breece Hall and a 708.
Cavaliers lose.
All day.
Absolutely not. I think Caleb Williams will be a top.
Who the fuck? When the fuck? What? Dylan, we're not even talking about Caleb Williams.
I did.
Adam, I'd make that move all day. That gives you a second one, right?
No.
You wouldn't trade Breece for that? You wouldn't trade Breece Hall for that?
For a 1, a 3, and a 4? Oh yeah, definitely. If you're sending Breece Hall,
I am.
For a 1, a 3, and a 4, absolutely.
Oh,
and I gave up a 7.
Wait, what's the trade, Adam? Sorry,
I did Breece Hall in a round 7, 7th round 8 pick for a 308, a 401, and a 110.
So a first, a third, and a fourth you're getting for Breece Hall and a 7 all day.
And twice on Sunday.
All day, every day, man.
And then possibly this one, I'll find out in an hour. A 105, a 205, a 304, and a 2026 second round for Drake London and a 508.
You're getting all those picks?
Yeah.
Take it.
No.
I did. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it to go through.
I think Drake London will be a top 5. I think Drake London will be a top 7 or 8 wide receiver in the game this year.
I don't care. I traded him in both my leagues. I traded him in both my leagues.
So you're gonna have 3 1s in your draft?
Yeah. A 5, 8, and a 10.
Dude, if you mess that up, we're sending your ass to Cleveland.
Let's see, this league is, just to let everyone know, this league is defense and offense.
I understand.
So I don't know where I'm going. I think I'm going if Harvey's sitting there at 5, I'm taking Harvey.
No, I think no. I am not.
Okay.
Rookie picks only.
I would rather
Rookie
have
picks only.
Hampton. I would rather have Hampton or one of the wide receivers.
I think Hampton's going to be gone.
The Pacers are going back once again to the Eastern Conference Finals, back to back. They just eliminated the Cleveland Cavaliers.
That's heartbreaking.
It's not a big surprise. That's I mean, they're a good team. That's not a big surprise.
Well,
And
by the
let's
way,
also not forget they are coached by one of the most underrated, best coaches in history, and Rick Carlisle. This guy knows how to win. He's an NBA championship coach. Rich, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he win a championship with your Dallas Mavericks?
don't remember.
Absolutely
2011
right.
against some washed up guy named James and Chris Bosh and Dwayne
Yeah.
Wade.
So Rick Carlisle, one of the best coaches in history of the NBA that nobody talks about. They are
This
Indiana's
trade might not go through.
Yeah,
I
you're right,
lost
Jason.
hope.
You're 100% right.
I lost hope in Cleveland when they blew a 12-point lead and Tyrese had a buzzer beater in Game 2.
I don't know about you, Jason. I think Tyrese Halliburton is one of those guys that doesn't get talked about enough in the NBA.
Well,
that's
But
that's
I
right.
don't understand. He's always the top player on fantasy draft or FanDuel every night.
He's like
Right,
Tyreek
but
Hill
everybody
or
talks-
AJ Brown. He's like
Yeah.
all them guys.
So
Yeah, but they talk Victor and they, all those guys.
there's
It
there's
just
two
seems like they
reasons why-
bypass Halliburton.
There's two reasons, actually 3 reasons why Tyrese Halliburton doesn't get talked about more in the NBA among the best in the game. Number 1, because he plays for the Pacers. They don't get a lot of media attention. Number 2,
Right.
he goes about his job. He's not out there running his mouth saying he's the greatest of all time like LeBron James. He's not out there flopping his body around. He's not out there, trying to incite every single fucking fight like Draymond Green. Sorry, Gina, if you're
Right.
watching, but that's true. And then number 3, the guy knows his role. All right, he knows his role. Those are the reasons why he doesn't get talked about. But in my estimation right now, he's a top 10 player in the league, hands down, top 10 player.
I think you're right.
I think reasons 1, 2, and 3 are he with the Pacers. I can almost promise you, if he was on the Lakers or any other team, this guy is been. And same with Brunson. I think more with him because he's in New York, but he's not a highlight film. Games below the rim, not 6'7", 6'8", like all these spectacular dunks. But these guys are letting everybody know this playoffs that no, those old guard, like you said, LeBron and KD, your time is over. These guys are stepping to the front.
I don't.
And
get
it's
how they
crazy. Go ahead.
I don't get it. I just don't get how they let Draymond keep playing with all the fights he's been starting. I remember last season he got banned the rest of the season for starting like a 3rd or a 4th fight, and then when they played the Rockets, he was starting shit with Shageen, and I'm shocked he didn't get ejected. And if I would have been Adam Silver, I'd have just banned him from the league with all the shit he's been starting. He's such.
You know what,
starter? It's ridiculous.
Marcus, the problem with Draymond is he's already a tough son of a bitch. He's already a tough player. We know that. But I'm also thinking, as tough as he is, if he had to go up back in the day against guys like Anthony Mason and Charles Oakley and Charles Barkley and one of my favorite players, even though I'm a diehard Lakers fan, the mailman Karl Malone, so one of my favorite of all time.
Louisiana boy.
There is no way Draymond Green could mix it up with guys like Oakley and Dennis Rodman. Oh my God, Rodman would eat that guy alive under the rim.
Draymond Green's like one of those guys who talks, and then if you try to fight him, he runs away. Like, look at what Anthony Edwards did to LeBron. That's what Anthony Edwards would do to Draymond Green.
And also, Jamie, I feel watching Draymond play. When he starts fights, he's out there making a statement for the wrong reasons. All right, he's playing with the wrong type of chip on his shoulder, And I think a lot of that is driven by the media because the media loves to pick on him. But to that end, he makes them pick on him for the way he behaves. So, but with that being said, Marcus, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What's up?
No, I was going to let you finish. I got a question that involves Draymond Green.
Yeah.
Who would win in a fight between him and Ron Artest?
Ron Artest.
That dude was a mean motherfucker.
Yeah.
Ron Artest, every name on the list he just had. Karl Malone would have took Draymond and put him in the 18th row. And that's what you're supposed to do to a guy like that. That's why he keeps starting fights. He's in an era of guys that are not fighting.
I remember
Which is part of the reason why Jordan and we'll I'm sure have this debate at some point, which is why Jordan is the GOAT. Because if you put LeBron, I don't care that he's 6'9" and 250. I really don't
Six
care.
and what?
He 6'9", 250.
No, 6 and what? Oh,
Yeah, exactly. How many game sevens has LeBron did Michael play? Same as we all have.
That's
0.
That was the best meme
So-
I ever seen, Rich. Not to cut you off, but that was the best meme I ever seen. Where it said Scotty and Jordan were sitting together, and they were reading that LeBron had the most game 7 points, and they're like, "We never even played in game 7."
Yeah, what's a game 7? You know, but the thing that you got to look at is you had to be tough. You couldn't. I mean, you get breathed on. LeBron flops more than a fish in a boat. It's one of those deals that you cannot, under any circumstances, say that if you put LeBron in the 80s and 90s NBA, he would be what he is right now. If you put Jordan in today, good God, he'd average 80 a game. If you can't touch him, he'd average 80 a game.
This is
What y'all take on
about the LeBum versus Jordan.
What y'all take on Michael Jordan? What y'all take on Jordan joining the NBA on NBC crew?
Yeah, I love it. I'll be curious to see how NBC utilizes him. But I mean, if you think about it in a way, Michael Jordan helped build NBC into NBA basketball coverage, because the only games NBC ever showed pretty much were Chicago Bulls, New York Knicks, Chicago Bulls, Indiana Pacers, Chicago Bulls, the former Washington Bullets, whatever. But I've wanted to get Jordan in that type of venue because of any basketball player, previous, current, or whatever, he has, I think, some of the most insightful knowledge on how to play a position. Because let's not forget, he was not only a prolific scorer, but he was also an outstanding defensive player. He was an NBA all-defensive first-team member, I think, 6 or 7 times in his career. So while he was very good at scoring, he was also very good at defending. And I want to hear how he assesses the position as how it's played today. That's what I'm looking forward to.
When you hear that,
I hope he can do that. I hope he can.
Yeah.
I just hope he doesn't sound like Scottie Pippen did and sound like a complete idiot.
Oh,
I love that the NBA is coming back to NBC.
When you hear that classic NBA on NBC theme, like that is the official
You guys
theme
do know who
song.
wrote that. You guys know who wrote that song, right?
John Tesh.
John Tesh. There we go.
Basketball, give me the ball, because I'm gonna dunk it. Saturday Night Live.
That's the official theme song. That's the official theme song of Michael Jordan Shattering Dreams in the 90s.
And that video itself, just with the song, has like 5 million views. That's going to get more. That has more than any game. They would have been crazy to change it.
I love what my dad said there about Chamberlain in one of his last interviews, because he was asked about today's rules versus the old rules. He goes, if he could average 50 points, he said, hell, in today's rules, I could average 100.
Probably could.
Yep.
Probably could.
You know, my favorite player growing up as a kid was Magic Johnson. Magic to me was Jordan to everybody else. And I heard Magic say one time, he was on NBA on TNT one time, and I heard him say, if I played in this day and age, I would average 20 assists per game and 40 points per game. Because Magic's game, the way he played it is, prime for the way the NBA is played nowadays. So I'm like, Magic, come out of retirement, baby. One more time. I got to see you do showtime on the court.
Here's the problem with today's game. They don't play in the regular season, but in the playoffs, they actually play basketball. That's the difference.
Well,
this whole load bearing or whatever the hell they're calling it.
Load management.
Oh,
ruining the sport.
You got 82 games. It's 82 flipping games. You play more than that in a week of pickup ball at the rec center with your boys. It's 82 games, and you're not getting paid at the rec center. You're making millions of dollars to play 82 games, and you're too tired to play 82 games. Oh my God, I got to play back-to-back nights? What? Oh, those guys give me a headache.
Kobe Bryant too. I think Kobe is the second best player of all time next to Michael. I think LeBron is third. So that's why I sit with that.
I agree with that.
That's valid.
I've got a question for everybody. what would your NBA all-time starting five be? And let me think. Everybody think of a number between 1 and 20.
NBA all-time starting five?
16.
I'll say 3.
I'm gonna pick 9.
I say 20.
Adam.
What's the question? My trade got vetoed. I'm fucking irritated. What happened?
NBA all-time starting five.
Pick a number.
All-time starting 5.
Pick a number.
Definitely be Bird.
No,
no,
pick a number between 1 and 20.
You should have told him that first, Dylan, because you asked the question before you told him to pick a number.
You asked me for my starting 5, so I started telling my starting 5.
Okay, but pick a number between 1 and 20.
18.
Ding, 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 ding. You are the winners.
That's because I already started.
So
Anyway,
you got Bird at shooting guard or small forward or what?
I do.
Which one?
Probably shooting guard.
Okay. And I'll get your other 4 in there.
Definitely that guy right there.
Put him at point.
Yes.
Okay. Next.
I really want my guy on there, that number 31 of the Indiana Pacers. He's one of my favorite players. So he's going to make my top 5 regardless.
Who's that?
Can I run all 5s and then
Reggie
have
Miller.
Reggie Miller, you got it. I've always been a fan of
So,
Mark Price too.
If you think about that, if you're doing that, then you'd want to play Bird at small forward and put Reggie Miller at shooting guard.
why couldn't you play
Probably.
Bird at power forward?
Reggie Miller was more of a shooting guard. He didn't have as good of an inside game as Bird did. Bird was better in the low post.
Marcus, I'm ready to go get my Miller jersey. It's in the closet.
I need that's the only one I kept legendary. All the other ones are fucking Zion jerseys or
That's right there again too. Will Chamberlain played when they were only allowed one step.
Who would I don't know. I don't know if I'd want Tim Duncan, Shaq. Yeah, man, I'm not sure.
I need an LSU Shaq jersey.
I need to really think about who I want as my center.
I'd put Shaq.
I'd do Shaq.
I'd probably do Shaq.
Put Larry like that. Put Larry as like a power forward.
I do not have Shaq in the top 10. I don't.
I can already tell mine's going to have you guys freaking out. I can already
I'm
tell.
definitely no Celtics fan, but as far as centers are concerned, I think there was this one guy one time by the name of Bill Russell. I might be
Louisiana
spitballing
boy.
He
here. But,
won a few championships.
He won like 8.
I've heard of him.
Yeah,
He won
a couple
11.
titles.
Oh, he won
a few
11.
titles. There was also a guy that played for the Minneapolis Lakers by the name of George Mikan, who was pretty dominant back in him. But I mean, I wouldn't put him on my top list. But if I had to choose an all-time center, Shaq and Wilt were the 2 most dominant that ever played in the NBA history of the game. But as far as my all-time center, it would have to be Bill Russell. Without a doubt, Bill Russell, and I don't even have to think about it.
I'd put Shaq at center. I'd put Larry Bird at power forward. MJ could be a small forward. Kobe Bryant, point guard. Steph Curry, shooting guard. Bam.
Okay, big sexy.
I didn't know I was Kevin Nash.
Magic at point, Jordan at the 2, Kobe at the 3, Dirk Nowitzki at the 4, and center I had it down to 2. I really wanted to go Hakeem Olajuwon, but I went Kareem.
Dirk was a great player, but you're going to put Dirk at the 4 over a guy like
I now have 2 guys that have shots that nobody can defend.
Okay, hey,
The next person that defends that one-legged fadeaway or the sky hook will be the first. I got 2 guys that have shots that you can't defend, and oh, by the way, I got Kobe, Jordan, and Magic.
See, I was going to shoot out. What about my guy, big shot Bob Orry, baby?
Oh God, don't remind me.
He's first guy off
there
the
you go.
bench. That's 6th man of the year forever.
There you go.
My boy, big shot Bob Orry.
Yep.
Yep, him and Mario Ellie.
He's going to be a little further on the bench than that 6, brother.
He'd be my
Oh my
sixth
God.
man. He would be my
I need
best sixth man ever.
Yeah.
I need fucking help, boys. What do
Okay.
I do here?
Oh,
What do I do
Which one got shot down?
here? The London trade.
Oh,
Okay.
that got shot down. The one you told us about last week.
No, the
No,
one I
no,
just
the
told
one
you about
that
like 20
He
minutes
just
ago.
told us about a minute ago. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know you're heartbroken. I know you want to get rid
My
of
heart's not broken. I'm just trying to recalculate this. Because this one asshole in our fucking league, the commissioner, he uses this analytic fucking thing and he thinks like it's fucking correct. But then I put the fucking program on another episode and it's way lower than what his calculations bring out. So he fucking texts everyone and he's like, hey, here's what it fucking looks like. Fucking asshole.
So
I love
Adam
the kid to death. I love the kid to death, but the way he fucking looks at trades is fucking annoying.
So Adam and Rich, I need y'all to take about Paul Skeens being American's ace for 2026.
Works for me.
I kind of want to continue going with what we were so we can get through the topic.
You guys got mine. Yeah.
I got one. Just real quick. Magic at the point, a little bit over Steph Curry. MJ over Kobe Bryant at the 2. LeBron at the 3. I got Karl Malone at the 4. And I'm shocked y'all haven't said Akeem Olajuwon. I think he's the greatest center in NBA history.
He's one of the best Houston Rockets.
I was debating Akeem and Kareem.
I think his footwork, he destroyed Shaq every time they played. Nobody talking.
No, that's the Kembe Mutombo.
It's in my house.
I'm shocked no one said Mutombo either.
No,
Mutombo's not a top. He's not top 10.
But he's a great defending center, but he wasn't a great scorer.
If we're just talking about defense, then yeah, you can have Mutombo in that conversation.
Oh yeah,
Jamie.
definitely. But as far as
Jamie,
Rick Barry, there's one.
Rick Barry.
There you go. All right, Jamie, who you got?
I've always been a Mark Price fan too.
Yeah.
Let me
Charles,
say it. Let me think.
What about,
What
about a former guy who used to play for the old Baltimore Bullets named Wes Unseld?
I don't like Wes Unseld. Real quick, he was the great player, a horrible coach.
Let me see at the.
He was
horrible.
Okay,
Sorry, Jamie.
Let me see what we're gonna do at the point. Let's see.
By the way, Big Rich, I'm dropping a bombshell on you right now.
Give me Steph Curry as my point.
The Dallas Mavericks, Rich, trade the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft to the Los Angeles Lakers for Luka Doncic, baby. They get Luka back, the team with AD. There's your
They already
bombshell,
said
baby.
they're not trading the number 1 pick. They said they're going to take Cooper Flag.
Not happening, Jason.
I know. I'm messing around, dude. I'm messing around.
But anyway, give me Steph Curry at the point.
Okay.
Michael Jordan, what was he, a shooting guard, right?
You could play 2 or 3.
Yeah, okay. Put Jordan at the 2. Let me think. At the 3. Let's see what we're gonna say. Tim Duncan. Wait, is Tim Duncan a 3 or 4?
He's 4 usually.
4.
Give me Tim Duncan at the 4.
3.
My center, Core Shaq at the 5. And then a 3. You think who? Let me see who could play. Who's good at? At the 3, I would say. Wait. Was Karl Malone a 3 or not?
He was a 4.
He was a 4 all day.
I already said Tim Duncan at 4. So
right. You might as well go Mr. Jordan's teammate at 3 with one hell of a 3.
Scottie Pippen at the 3?
Yeah.
Okay, give me Scottie Pippen at 3.
Oh,
You gotta admit, that was a good suggestion,
See ya.
right, Rory?
Yeah, I see you. I got you.
Give me Scottie Big Pimpin', as Jay-Z would say. He's Big Pimpin'. Big
All right,
Pimpin'.
Jason, you're 5.
Okay, well, my 5. My backcourt would be Kobe and Michael. My front court would be Magic and Larry. And my 5 would be Bill Russell. Thank you very much. End of discussion.
So, my starting 5, yes, MJ at the 1, Kobe at the 2. My 3 is Scottie Pippen. My 4 is Kevin Garnett with Wilt Chamberlain at center.
KG, Kevin Garnett.
Oh.
The big ticket, too.
Do
There.
we get the dance? Do we get the dancing guy in the crowd for Kevin?
You got to get the dancing guy.
Yeah. Gotta have it.
By the way,
It's not a
guys,
bad 5.
anything's possible, and my team's going to kick the crap out of all your teams.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, God. Now he's
Garnett, I love his work ethic. I think he was very underrated. He worked so hard to get there. He wasn't as naturally gifted as people thought.
Let's hear this take
Great
from
work.
somebody that thinks that Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback now.
Point guard, the greatest all-time shooter in professional basketball history, Steph Curry. 2, some guy named Michael Jordan. You may have heard of him.
Copying mine, dude.
Number 3, number at the 3. Just the greatest scorer in NBA history, some guy named LeBron.
Luke.
At 4, Mr. Fundamental, Tim
Luke.
Duncan. And then the 5, some guy you may have heard of named Lou Alcindor, aka Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I will kick the crap out of all you guys.
I'll believe that, Jeremy. I'll believe that, Dylan, the minute you leave this podcast without saying goodbye again.
Well, back to
Wait a
back
minute,
to
wait a minute, Jeremy. Wait a minute. Excuse me, not Jeremy. Wait a minute, Jamie. Wait a minute, Jamie. Last time the Jags and Bills played in London, what happened? Oh, wait, my guy Dustin.
You always play that same. You always use that same one. At least I actually stay on the podcast and say goodbye before I leave.
So, like when Charles was talking about Kevin Garnett saying he don't get the credibility, you're right, he don't, because they all want to talk about. I mean, he was hell of a player too, but if you're talking about that 2008 championship team when they had not just Paul Pierce but like Rajon Rondo, Kendrick Perkins, and Ray Allen, they always talked about them more than Kevin Garnett. And Kevin Garnett carried that team too. Even if you want to throw like Campbell in that lineup too, James Pont and Eddie House and all them guys, they were a whole stack team.
In that year, wasn't there like 10 games where they were missing Paul Pierce and Rajon Rondo?
Fury
and they still won 6
Stackhouse.
of them?
And they still fucking kicked ass.
Right, they still won 6 out of the 10 is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What impressed me about
Yeah.
KG more was what he did in Minnesota. I
Yeah,
don't think people realize how that team would have never made the playoffs without Garnett, and he had them a contender so well because he was such a good player every year.
right.
I didn't comment that. I didn't say you first.
No. He put it in there.
Oh, okay. I was wondering because I went deleted a comment I didn't even type.
Right.
That's fucking AI shit. I'm not even working my magic.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Because Gun Guy came in and said, "Take your pants off," like he does every time.
Take your
Oh,
pants
no,
off and
but-
jacket. Blink 182.
You know,
Hey,
Steph, my phone is the devil. My phone will put a bitch I seen in a checkout line as a mutual friend.
What?
But that's okay. Anytime I talk about one of these supermodels I think is hot, somehow she comes up in my suggested friends on Facebook.
Yeah. And then when you meet her in person, she'll be like, "How you doing, Jeremy?"
Right.
Selma Hayek is going to be on Sports Illustrated cover this year. I
So
saw that this
Olivia
morning.
Dunn. So
Yeah, Olivia Dunn.
I wonder if Stephen A. Smith's going to blow a gasket about the Pacers eliminating the Cavs tomorrow.
More than likely.
You know
I'm
what?
I'm missing
being
shit.
If they would have eliminated the Knicks, he would have. But
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't wait till he
I-
shit talks to the Dallas Cowboys this upcoming season.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if the Cavs fired Kenny Atkinson.
The only way you're going to hear Skip saying anything is if you listen to his podcast, which is an absolute waste of time and energy.
I can't stand Skip Bayless.
I can't
Skip worthless. You mean Skip worthless piece of shit?
Skip is the boil on the ass of life.
No, from what I gather, that's Shannon Sharp.
No, Shannon Sharp is just that little string of shit you didn't wipe. That's just dangling.
You know, I'm starting to think that y'all aren't Skip fans.
No, I'll tell you what. I'm a big
He's so
You can take
bad.
him or leave him.
I don't like majority of those analysts. I don't mind Stephen A. Smith because I love when he shit talks to Cowboys. I love when he shit talks to LeBron.
No, I'm telling you right now, ESPN's got a bunch of dirtbag broadcasters right now. Stephen A. Smith, Adam Schefter's a bully. Some of those other people who should never be commentating another sporting event. Or
Who in the hell is Mel Kiper?
Mel Kiper's in the NFL draft crew. He's the guy that predicted Shedeur Sanders to go number one overall.
I'm doing Bill Tobin, Marcus. Who in the hell is Mel Kiper?
Well,
Kiper is the biggest fucking idiot piece of shit in the world, but he's a jet and a fucking island. That's what he is.
Mel Kiper knows any more than my postman.
there's a lot of guys on ESPN that are but when it comes to guys that are not any good and are just completely worthless when it comes to their stuff, the leader in the clubhouse, no questions asked, is Jason Whitlock.
I got a good one for y'all.
No,
He's not an ESPN
leader. Huh?
He's not an ESPN.
No, I'm just saying the guys that are doing this stuff. I'm not a Skip guy, but the best incarnation of First Take was Skip and Stephen A. I don't think anybody can deny that. Do they have some guys? I think Kendrick Perkins is a freaking blowhard. Brian Windthorst only has his job because he's big time buddies with 23, the Laker 23. That's the only reason why he has his job.
Yep.
Exactly. That's the only reason he has a job.
Right?
Talking about the NBA is because he was high school friends with LeBron.
I got no problem with Windhorst.
Huh?
I got no problem with Windhorst. He's all right, man. He ain't bothering nobody. That's kind of like what I get from him. Yeah.
He is the most absolute just vanilla, no energy, no. It just seems like it almost seems like he's reading off teleprompter.
I think like Pat might be ready to hit the door too. From what I saw, he had a post today. It sounds like he's getting ready to hit the door. Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee sounds like he's getting ready to hit the door. I'm sorry,
possibly.
He's talking about from leaving ESPN.
Rich Eisen's coming back to ESPN.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I like Rich Eisen.
The reason why Pat McAfee's leaving is they censor him so much.
Anyhow, speaking of Pat McAfee, who do y'all dislike more on College Game Day? Him or Kirk Herbstreit or anybody else?
I think Pat McAfee.
I'll be the bad guy. The guy I dislike the most on game day is Corso.
I know after week 1, you won't have to worry about it.
Just a minute there,
yeah, he's retiring, so yeah, they're forcing him out.
I mean, I liked it until about 5 years ago. I liked Corso in that, but I mean, I'll be the bad guy. I'll take the heat for that one. I like the rest of them. Desmond Howard bothers me sometimes, but
no,
I like Desmond Howard.
No, Pat McAfee's the problem game day. I don't think McAfee should be on a part of game day.
Oh my God, he's the ultimate frat boy cheerleader. Are you kidding me? He's perfect for that show.
Now, when Corso retires, should they retire the headgear pick too, or should they carry that on?
I think McAfee.
No, you got to retire the headgear.
Retire the headgear. Yeah,
I can't see McAfee doing it. Who's the one that does it for college basketball with the jersey?
Get rid of.
No,
what's that?
Jennings. Keep Ayuk.
Ayuk or Jennings?
Get rid of Jennings.
Something was off. The scene was behaving.
Guys, I gotta hit the road running, man.
I know. I gotta
Okay,
watch.
Rich. Always good.
Yeah, man, it's always fun. I hope I don't step on too many toes when we do this stuff, but
No, it's fun. It's fun.
it's always a blast, man. Well, and Adam, let's figure out what we're doing tomorrow. Are we doing our show, or are we going to expand it out a little bit and do schedule, release, talk, or whatever we're going to? Let's get together and talk about it.
What are you guys? Hold on. What are you guys all doing? I know
I'm
Marcus.
going to be on Jeremy's. I think I'm still going to be on Jeremy's show tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Jeremy, you're going to send me the link for our schedule revealing tomorrow.
Yep.
Jay, you working tomorrow?
Right.
I am, but I have an office day tomorrow, so I can jump on it.
Marcus, you're doing your show, right?
Yeah. So this week, tomorrow, I got my show where I'm revealing the Saints schedule, Texas schedule, and all the primetime schedules for the 2025 season. And Saturday, Jeremy and I are going to host that watch along for the Roughnecks and the Panthers with a dog cam. Now, I don't know when Rich and I are going to do another wrestling show, but I'm pretty sure we're going to do one soon.
Yeah, it's just a matter of I just got to figure out a consistent time to do it. That's the problem I've run into. But yes, we are. But I mean, I know Adam and I always do our show on Wednesdays. Right. So it's just a matter of whether, Rav, what are you looking at?
I'm doing the schedule release tomorrow. I'm going to, my daughter has her final band concert. So I have to do that early in the evening. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to come back and do Raven's schedule release. That's going to be at around 9:00.
Yeah. I'm doing mine at 8:30.
That's my regular show.
Yeah, we start at 9 Eastern. So
they said the rest of the schedule is going to be revealed around 8 Eastern, 7 Central. So I said I would do mine around 8:30. Mine should be like a 20-minute show. I'm going to try not to drag it, but just mainly focus on Saints, Texas, and the primetime games, and that's it.
I'm starting.
Dylan, what are you doing? Are you doing your own show tomorrow too?
Oh, did you ask me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. And then I'm probably going to do a draft, figuring out like when all the buys find my stacks and bring backs.
When are we doing UFL? Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be there. I got a fucking rant. We'll get to that. I got to finish typing all that shit up, too. I got to see who won the attendances for this week, too. So I'm probably going to bounce myself so I can get ready for that, too.
Guys, I appreciate it as always, man. Like I say, I'm going to bug out. Wednesday, there's a lot of stuff going on, folks. For those of you listening and watching right now, you got a lot to pick from, catch them all later, whatever. Guys, I appreciate y'all very much. Catch me on Twitter, BigRich8371, Facebook, either on our page, Driving to the Top Productions, or on my page, Rich Richardson. I'll catch you guys next Tuesday. If not, I'll catch you tomorrow night.
All right, Rich. I'll see you tomorrow night, buddy.
All right, guys. See you later.
All right.
Get out myself.
Jeremy, you texted me earlier real quick and said you had an update for the Lions.
Yes, I do. We waived Caden Prieskorn, the tight end out of Ole Miss, and we ended up signing the tryout tight end Luke Deal, wide receiver Malik Taylor, and defensive lineman Raekwon Williams for the team. And then just before I got on the show, we also signed Keith Cooper to the team as well. So they actually make the preseason roster at this point.
Dylan, obviously that's a question for you.
Josh, are you throwing Lando's name under the bus? Come on, man. Relax. He won the sprint race in Miami. Going in the second day of last year, and McLaren's clearly top call day. If you want to talk with me, put up your dukes and let's go right now. You and me.
We're not doing it. We're not doing racing on this show.
Oh, go really fast, turn left. Great race.
They're making a left turn.
Y'all laughing, but it gets a lot of people like NASCAR. I mean, it gets a lot of engagement every time he's doing one of the NASCAR shows. And
I like certain races.
People, yeah.
Like I like certain races. Like I'll watch Daytona and Talladega or Indy and Texas Motor Speedway in Vegas.
There you go,
Or,
John. Like he said, it's on Monday night.
And Bristol. But other than that, I don't care for the other races.
I like Daytona.
Yeah, that's like the only fucking race William Byron won this year. Even though he made the playoffs, he needs to win another one. But Joey Logano fucking won the last one, and I was pissed.
Wait, Kyle Lawson's won 3 races. I mean,
Wait, who won the? Wait, Joey Logano won the last one I watched. Joey won.
yeah, Joey won Texas.
I didn't-
Kyle won Kansas.
Yeah, I didn't watch the Kansas race. I watched Texas, so that was the one. That was the one I watched that he won.
Guys, I got to jet on out of here also.
All right,
Me
Jason,
too.
good to see you.
Me too.
Yep. It's always a pleasure talking sports with all you guys. Respect all you, love all you. And until next time, everybody, you can find me there on Dodger Jason on X. That's my X account. Look forward to being back on again. Always a pleasure. And God bless everybody. Take care.
So, Jason, we'll see you tomorrow night.
Yeah. And Adam, if anything comes up at the last minute, I'll text you. But at least right now, I can jump back on tomorrow night.
All right, cool. All right.
Okay. You guys have a good one. Peace out.
We'll see you tomorrow, Jay, hopefully.
Yep. Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm going to see where you can find me below my name. Like I said, this week I got my schedule release show tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Marcus, real quick, why don't you make the StreamYard link? That way we can always share me and yours YouTube channel with every time you post.
Yeah, I need to find a way to fucking share that, and I keep doing it wrong.
No. Well, you got to make the link. I didn't see the link. Like, you got to make the StreamYard link.
I'm gonna make it eventually. Like after I get my UFL stuff updated, I'm gonna go create a link for tomorrow, and then you can go back.
No. What I'm saying is, like, whenever you go to share it, have the StreamYard link ready, so that way we can just put the YouTube link in the comments.
Right.
Okay. All right.
That way it follows with it.
All
Just
right.
thoughts. Anyway, go ahead, Marcus. Not to interrupt you.
Yeah. So you know where to find me, find the show. I got a busy week too. Tomorrow I got my schedule release show on the Saints, the Texans, and the primetime games for the season. 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thursday, I'll be back with you, Jamie, and Jeremy to do the UFL talk for the week. And then Saturday is the big one, the watch along with Jeremy and I. We're gonna do a watch along for the Panthers and the Roughnecks. First time ever on that show. First of many watch alongs. And I got future watch alongs coming soon, especially when the NFL comes. So y'all be looking forward to it. I might even do a couple baseball watch alongs down the road. And when basketball season starts again next year, like I'm gonna start doing a few more. I'm gonna try and do a couple a month. I mean, I ain't gonna do one every week, but it's a work in progress. It's gonna be something new I want to try. I'm all ready for it.
Sunday night baseball would be a good watch along. I'd love to do that.
Are they playing the Astros? Is it Baltimore and the Astros?
It's going to be the last year we're going to have Sunday night baseball watch us because the MLB pulled from ESPN baseball out of that year.
I think I'm hoping somebody else picks it up. That's my favorite baseball show. That's not Orioles. Whatever Sunday night baseball.
I'm pretty sure someone's gonna pick it up. I mean,
well, no, they want like somebody local because like ESPN never talks about baseball on their shows. That's why they're pulling out.
they never ever talk. Hey, maybe in August we can do a watch along for the Astros and the Orioles because they play August 15th through the 17th in Houston.
When the Orioles are 80,000 games below 500. Yeah.
The Orioles are way too talented to be where they are, though.
They got back-to-back weekends. They got that weekend, and then the following weekend they go to Baltimore, and that's gonna be during NFL preseason. So I only watch the preseason just to get sort of ready for football. But I don't like get into it, I'm just like, well, this guy's gonna be cut. This guy.
I do more with training camp reports than I do like analysis of games during the season, preseason.
I just give scores for preseason. I don't dive into it unless, like, if they actually impress me, I might dive into their game and say, "Oh, Jake Haener threw a 60-something yard pass to a guy who's probably going to be cut in 2 weeks, or a guy's going to get benched." But I'm only looking forward to the preseason because that's where we're going to find out who's QB1 out of Radler and Shuck. They're gonna duel it out in the preseason besides training camp. So, but I'm gonna keep a close eye on that training camp if they ever decide by then who's gonna be the QB1.
Aaron Rodgers.
Nah,
No.
Pittsburgh can have him.
I don't want Aaron Rodgers.
I don't want him either. I don't know where are these so-called.
Even if he does go to the Steelers, he's not guaranteed to even play. So
I don't know where these so-called Saints fans at that said they want him. I've not seen one in social media that said, "I hope we get Aaron Rodgers." Nobody wants him.
You know what? Part of me thinks that Aaron Rodgers is going to the Bay Area.
To the 49ers?
Yeah.
All right, I'm out. Y'all have a good one. I will see you guys Thursday.
All right, Marcus, take it easy, buddy. I'll see you Thursday.
Got it. Same thing with Jamie and Jeremy. I'll see y'all Thursday too.
yep, you got it.
All right. You need me to talk about my channel now? Are we getting done, or are we what?
I'm gonna head out, guys. See you all later.
Holy crap! Mark it on the calendar. He announced.
What?
Go ahead, Dylan. How people kiss you.
He didn't just drop off. He just he announced it. He said he's leaving.
At Dylan at Sports One, Spunky Spectrum Sports. Check out my PGA Championship highlights. I think Roy McIlroy's going to kick everybody's butt at Clay Hollow. But you know what? Maybe Bryson DeChambeau will add a Wanamaker to his 2 U.S. Open trophies. Is that beer, Matt? Is that beer, Adam?
Samuel Adams. Porch
Sam
lager.
Adams goes well with wings.
I didn't really eat today.
Oh, just a food for thought.
By the way, Jamie, the Bills have traveled the second fewest amount of miles of any team in the NFL this year.
That's great. I think in an era of all these international games, I think the Bills should travel less. That'll benefit for them this year, I think.
By the way, Adam, I think the Steelers are going to eclipse Buffalo on your Dublin trip.
We're not playing. Actually, they're playing Minnesota, not Buffalo.
I said Adam.
No. Pittsburgh's playing Minnesota, not Buffalo. They showed.
I know.
Shin Ming Wong. No, sorry. You should picture the Yankees.
Josh, you want Loki tickets? What now? You want first class on British Airways?
No, he wants to go to the Bills game.
Okay.
Well, Dad's got a channel here, so yeah, he can buy tickets to the game there. Dad has got it covered there.
Listen, I don't have those kind of connections anymore. I had game ticket connections when I worked down the stadium.
I didn't know you worked at the stadium. That's cool. Yeah, I didn't know.
Worked at PNC Park, Heinz Field, the Peterson Event Center.
Judge struck out. Crap. Anyway.
I never said I was getting you a jersey. Crazy kid. I know your birthday's coming up, but still.
All right. My podcast. You know, I do a lot of stuff, but I mostly.
Are we closing shop? Are we closing shop? Is that what we're doing?
I am. There's not much else to talk about, is there?
Probably not.
Kneecap.
He did say where to get a hold of him, so we can't
get a hold of me on Facebook at Jeremy Ballrick or at the Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions page. You can get a hold of me on Twitter at Smoking Jeremy B1. You can get a hold of me on Instagram, and you can also get a hold of me on YouTube for my content. I go live every day of the week, and anytime I'm a guest on one of these shows, it goes to my channel.
I love it. I'll go next. I don't care. Hey, I'm at Sports Talking It on Twitter. You can also get me at Driving to the Top. That's an N-O-G and 2 E's on the. On Twitter over there, you can find me there. Thursday night at Mem Sports, at Mem Boats for the UFL show. Tomorrow night at Hammer Time Pit. You can get me there. I'll still be under at Sports Talking It, though. And you can also get us on the channel here, Driving to the Top Productions. And our Facebook page. We finally have a Facebook page. So that's cool. Yeah. Rav?
All right. So, real quick, 40-33 Denver over OKC. So I'm definitely going to check that out more full screen once we get off of here. So, RaverySports.company.site. If you want to go ahead and get Ravens and Orioles merchandise, you could go ahead on there. We are now in partnership with Fanatics, so you're going to see Fanatics links now on my channel. So not just old school Ravens and Orioles stuff and Terps. You can go ahead and get all the Fanatic stuff. It's going to be awesome. We're going to roll that out June 1st. On the channel tomorrow, we're going to talk about, obviously, the schedule release. NFL schedule release is tomorrow. Ravens, we're going to talk about that. 5 biggest games of the year on the schedule for everybody, non-Raven games. So we're going to talk about that. And who is the early season award winners in baseball? Who wins MVP? Who's been the best coach of the year? Spoiler alert, not a lot of Orioles on there. Like as far as that, the best goes. And also to at the end, Orioles report, we're going to go over that along with the NBA playoffs. So definitely check it out about 9:00 tomorrow on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And also too, I did put my Facebook page on there, Ravery Sport. That has 100 already, so you can use that if you want to actually go live or anything like that. I don't go live on there anymore, but it has enough if you want to go ahead and just use a Facebook page and get started with it.
Okay. Yeah, we're just getting it out there. I think I'm going to make it all admins just to let you know, because that way you can make your own events and shoot your shit out. I think that'd be easier than trying to do like, hey, Adam, you're going to make an event page? No, I think Rich runs the page, so talk to him.
Radio guy.
Yeah, exactly. Jamie, clear us out. Get us out of here, buddy.
All right. You can catch me, yours truly, at Bill's Chat 1 at Bill's Mafia Chat, and also Jamie Malloy, the unbiased journalist, at DJ Dog Tags on X, theforkball.com, and stadiumrant.com, where I write about brawl sports stories. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and now our Facebook page. Don't forget to like, comment, ring the bell for notifications. For more content on Driving to the Top Productions, such as this show, the Subway Conversation Chat with me and Joe Dalio and I, and also our Thursday night UFL show, you can visit our YouTube page, Facebook page, Twitch stream, X stream, wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you very much for listening tonight, folks. I'm Jamie Malloy, and you have been listening to Open Sports Mic. That's open sports mic, open mic sports night on Driving to the Top Productions. See you next Tuesday, folks.
All right. Hey, I wanted to thank everyone in the YouTube comments and everyone for tuning in. Jeremy's page, our page. We wanted to thank you very much. And everybody, Jeremy, you go ahead, have your saying and log us out.
Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. It's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. The change has to begin within you.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry, did I mention Isaac?